Thanks to SimpliSafe for sponsoring this video.
Hi everyone, welcome back. The weather is very nice today, so we're going to continue working on the house outside, wrapping up more of what we started in the front. And I want to see something, kind of a finishing touch go up. So we're going to install a ceiling fan. Just got back from Lowe's, bought this one, if you're curious. And we're going to be installing it up into the vaulted ceiling. And I heard you all, most people are recommending I paint this white. I will still continue to think about it a little bit. It's kind of growing on me as is, but I think it would look better the other way. But that would require me to paint it, and probably paint it twice since it's already blue. Again, going to go ahead and install the ceiling fan.
Well, that's finished. I'm pleased with the results. Good looking, simple fan. It does have a pull chain, but you could just remove the pull chain, which I probably will. I just put it on there in case I wanted to make sure it was turned on. So it will be wired to a switch right inside the door. I just tested it by touching the roughed-in wire to the fan to the light switch that's live in there. So on to the next thing. We're going to put the storm door up on the side porch. This is where I'm gonna let my pet owl come inside. With this being one of many videos sponsored by Simply Safe, I'd like to know how many of y'all have a Simply Safe system, and especially how many of you bought a system after hearing about them on the channel. I'm mainly just curious, but also to show the sponsor Simply Safe how much you all have responded to hearing about them here on this channel. For those of you who don't know, Simply Safe makes security systems, and as their name implies, it is very simple, all the way from the process of choosing and buying which system, installing it, using it, and then beyond that, even moving the system to another house and customizing it to that house specifically if you need to make any changes. Simply Safe has 24/7 monitoring, meaning if anything goes wrong, the police will be called. I have a system here in my house, have had it for years. No problems, enjoyed using it, and feel great about having it. Let's take a closer look at my system and some of its features. This sponsorship means a great deal to my YouTube channel. Simply Safe is an excellent company, and because of their support, I am happy to tell you about their incredibly effective, reliable home security that will make sure your home is safe. Your home will be professionally monitored 24/7, and if anything at all happens, they'll make sure the police get called. They have all kinds of really thoughtful features that cover every window, room, and door, plus tons of extras like water sensors, temperature sensors, and more. The entire system is really easy and intuitive to use. Again, the only tool I used was a screwdriver to poke a hole and tighten one screw. Their pricing is fair and honest and comes out to 50 cents a day, and that's without any kind of a contract. Their system has you equipped for worst-case scenarios and will still work if you lose power, Wi-Fi, or the system is attacked. We live in a very unpredictable world, and this security system gives me an edge over the unknown. I'm the kind of person who has insurance on my insurance, so having this system is a no-brainer. And being a person who DIYs my way through everything, why wouldn't I want to install my own security system? If you're concerned about setting the system up yourself, don't be. It comes with a very clear setup guide with text and pictures, and there's plenty of content online that'll guide you through the process. To get more details about Simply Safe, go to their website at simplysafe.com/homemadehome. That is a custom URL that lets them know I sent you. Thank you, Simply Safe, for supporting my videos. Your continued sponsorship is greatly appreciated.
that's going to wrap things up for now. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I have a bunch I'm about to talk about, so if you enjoy that, keep on watching. We're going to be talking about the costs of this project and then the next project that I'll be starting. I'm actually already started filming it, but I may start showing some of those videos while I'm still doing this one, and we'll talk about the reasons for that. Right off the bat, getting a lot of questions about how to find these houses. I think it's just springtime. It's time of year people start doing a lot of projects. I don't talk about my book all that often anymore because a lot of my videos are sponsored, but that book will answer a lot of your questions. The book is Cheap Houses, How to Find and Buy Inexpensive Real Estate. Links will be down in the description below. It's available on Amazon Kindle as well as directly off my website as a PDF, which you can print. A lot of people ask if they can get a soft back version or just a printed version of it. That's how you get a printed version of it. You print it yourself. The audio book, I started it, and I'll do it one day. But I am the audio book. I run my mouth at the end of these videos a lot and talk about a lot of that stuff. But this is a way to get it in the printed or just a version that you can read. So check that out if you would like to see it. Still thinking about the blue wall above me. I know that may sound odd. I think it would be better white, and most likely I will do that. But at the same time, it's a rental house and I can paint it white anytime. And that's sort of my thinking on things like these lights, like what are they called, jelly jar lights, the porch lights on this one and over there. Some people would say, why would you buy this cheap light? Well, that's the reason right off the bat. They're inexpensive lights. And you can always, this is set up for any light now. You can whip this light off and change it. Like if you want to sell this house and you think having a different light there is going to make a difference, you can change that light out any time. In the meantime, it's a $6 light. And at the time where it makes a difference, you put a light up there and it's brand new, looks clean, no spider webs, no cleaning it. Just pop it up there and sell the house. So with the blue wall up there, again, I think white would look best, and I probably will do it. But at the meantime, I'm not really all that concerned about it because this is a rental for now, and that's not going to make the difference between whether somebody rents the house or not. And it looks fine, as is. It's just, I think it would just be that slightly more architecturally correct thing to have that be white. But all around, things are just cleaning up more and more and more, and like I say in every video, it just continues to look more like a finished house. Recap of the project: installed the fan. I'm gonna go over prices too. I'll do that in a second. We did the lights, 2 lights, then the 2 receptacles. And at first I was only going to do the one beneath me by the front door, main entrance, but then I ended up wanting to do the one on the side door because then an extension cord could be run over towards the driveway if somebody was like vacuuming a car. And it keeps somebody from running an extension cord from this one over that porch or something and causing some sort of a tripping hazard. Just makes it more convenient. And there may be times where it's convenient to me, and I'm probably going to end up adding a receptacle around beside or behind the house too, to where you don't have to run an extension cord all the way around. And then that is partly code for air conditioning units. So you need an a receptacle within, I think, 25 feet of an outdoor unit. Since it has the other unit there and it's not already there, I don't have to do it, but I'll probably do it out of convenience since I'm already here doing it. Storm door. And the storm door, again, was just to protect the door that's there, even though it's just a glass door. So I put a glass door over glass door, which seems odd, but I don't want to have issues with the door jambs rotting out. And I could always easily replace the trim if I had an issue with the trim rotting just from that door being exposed. But as is, it's going to last a while. I'll keep good finish on it, keep an eye on it. And again, it's my house. I can always correct that later on. And it's, it'd be much easier just to undo that storm door and replace the trim than it would be to get in there and replace the bottoms of the jambs and deal with the weather stripping, or either to pull the entire main door out and replace it, or replace the jambs or whatever. And the reason I didn't do the roof on it is just because you just already got so many weird roof lines, and I just didn't want to do that. Lumber cost, time, all of it. Just didn't want to get into it. So I think, prices. The door, storm door, was $220. Then the handle was $50. The fan was $100. The receptacles were $20 each for the kit. So it's a little, waterproof kit with the ground fault protected outlets. So 2 of those. The lights, $5.98, so $6. And that is the full cost of the main supplies. So there's other little small things that you get, but the total cost of doing everything I did when I was at Lowe's, I spent, it was $500 or so. So those numbers I just said I don't think add up to $500, or maybe they do, close to it. But there's other little small things that you're using and you're not even really thinking of, like pieces of Romex, screws, and all that kind of stuff. So all this was about $500. Hold on a second. Sorry for the interruption. Back to it. About $500 project. Took me about 2 days to get everything done. But again, that's with filming. I could do this stuff easily in just a day's time if I wasn't filming and didn't have any interruptions. With that said, that's because the house is gutted, so I'm easily able just to pull wires through, work on the back side of the wall and the side porch like when I was installing the light. I mean, everything that I did is easier with the house in this stage than it would be in a house that isn't being completely worked on like this. So all of the wiring is being roughed in right now, so I can kind of do whatever I want. Got full access on the inside of the house. With that said, these types of projects are not a humongous deal. If you want to do these things, then they would make improvements on your own homes that you're already living in. But it's one of those things, definitely, when you're fixing stuff up, a lot of times people will tell me that I'm going too far on these places for rentals, but it's just so much easier just to go ahead and do it now than regretting doing it later when you want to try to get the place ready to be sold and you're trying to maximize, how much you can sell it for. I heard something one time, somebody was saying maximize the potentiality of the situation. And so that type of thinking, it's just easier to do it now, and you're able to get higher quality renters, pull in more rent from a place, and then the biggest thing is less maintenance. When you have everything, when you fix a rental house up like you're selling it, and then you keep it to rent it, you're right off the bat, your investment's just going to be worth a lot more. So by the time I'm done with this house, I'll probably have $30,000 to $40,000 tied up in the house. But this house right now, you could sell this house for probably, if it was fixed up, finished, you could probably sell this house for $150 or more. And I remember when one of the first videos that I made, I said something like $150,000 house for $9,000 or whatever it was. I titled that video. And so many people said, you're wrong, but it's just true. People get hung up on how much I paid for it has nothing to do with how much it's going to be worth in the end. So there's no, it's just a lot of profit potential in something like this. That's why I advise doing it. This is no secret. I'm on YouTube talking about it. I wrote a little $5 book. It tells you how to find things like this. Most time people think that somebody knows secrets or taking advantage of somebody, or they're come from a family that this or that. Most things are you just have to figure out how to do it, and work hard to complete whatever it is. And I was just talking to somebody recently, and I don't mean this because it's had nothing to do with a private conversation, but I'm about to make it unprivate. And I was talking to somebody, and family member, and I just said how pleased I was with how things have gone for me. But all of it has to do with working on things long term. So long term thinking, and then working really hard on things for a very long time when it's totally not fun. So the saying being hard work pays off, and it really, really does. Of course, you have to watch it, and you have to keep things in perspective. Don't forget you're not going to be around forever. Your little families are going to grow up really quick, all that type of stuff. So there's a balance. But there was this other phrase I've heard, people underestimate, I think it's like what you learn, but you can apply it to this. People overestimate what they can do in a short amount of time and underestimate what they can do in a long time. So over the course of a long time, doing small amounts of effort, this is what investing is in general, whether it's financial or time or whatever, anything you're putting into something, you put a small amount into something over a long term, it turns into something big, especially with things of a financial nature. And while there's a lot of labor tied up in this house, it sort of is an investment, because I could pay someone to do this, but I'm doing it, so I'm investing my time, which will correlate to equal financial gain down the road. And a lot of what I'm doing too, I think like with what I'm doing specifically, I do this investing in these houses, and then I work on them. Well, then the work is very costly for me to do it myself, technically speaking. So I found a way with YouTube to kind of add income into that. So I started filming these videos because I already had the other channel, and I was like, well, this is a broader topic. People will probably be interested in it. So then I brought that in. So then I don't know, you just get your wheels turning when you start doing stuff, and then you figure out ways to have there be an advantage at every single aspect of it. A lot of times the work on it is just, people call it sweat equity or whatever. It's just you got to get in there and you got to do it, and it's going to pay off later. Well, you can find ways to make it pay off now and later. So yeah, there's that. I think that is it. Let's talk about the next project, and I could start this next video if y'all are into it. And I may do it even if you're not into it, because I think you would be into it. So the next project is not the cabin that I've discussed, but it's sort of cabin-esque, and it is sort of an off-grid workshop slash guest house slash office, but it is semi-traditional building techniques with framing with lumber, but the lumber is wood that I'm milling myself out of trees off of my own land. So I go cut trees down. Mostly they're dead standing pine trees or other types of dead standing trees, oak, some live trees when it makes a difference. But I'm milling all this lumber on my own portable sawmill, and then I'm building this workshop that will have a loft and sort of be set up as a guest house, not really so much a house, but a place for people to stay when they visit, but also sort of an office for me for doing some of my things. It will not have, at least anytime soon, it's not going to have any current run to it. So I'm probably going to do some sort of a small solar setup just to run some lights, maybe a small inverter just for doing some basic charging, and then some sort of little beds. But it's pretty cool. I've already started. I've gotten pretty far, and my plan keeps evolving. So when I say it's a workshop as well, my sawmill is going to go under this whole thing, and then there's sort of a workshop portion of it, and then a set of stairs that goes to above it. It's all in all, the building is 14 by 16, but 2 stories, but then off of one side of it is a very long extension, about 30 feet long. So I'm already filming this to cover this on my other channel, but I think I can cover it in 2 different ways. I can cover it in a way that I think suits this channel, and since it has the sort of living part of it, and then I'm going to do, I think, interesting details, interior details on this that I would never do in a house like this. Like in a house like this, I'm buying lower grade wood, try to do something a little special design wise for like trim, for example, and then it gets painted, and mostly all just painted, caulked and painted white. I'll be doing simple, probably simple, but nicer exposed woodwork finishing techniques in this place. I mean, I'll be milling my own flooring, paneling the walls in wood, paneling ceilings in wood, building the furniture for it. There's a set of steps that I built, so I made the whole stringers and everything all again out of wood that I milled. And this isn't your normal stringers. It's got pockets that the treads go into. It's an extremely interesting project. I don't mean that from some sort of overly confident point of view. It just is. It's one of those things that while I'm working on it, I just feel lucky to even be working on it. It's just such a fun thing to be doing. So how could you not want to see that after that description? What else was I going to say about it? Sort of justifying it to be on this channel. I think it is a different project for different times. And one of the reasons I've been considering this is, well, for one, my current situation just dictates where I can't be on this project all the time. I've got a lot of stuff to do, but I can also work on the other one. So I'm not going to get into the full explanation, but it would be easier for me to be regular on YouTube if I could do a little bit of back and forth. Basically, I need more time in between. When you see me doing this, I work on it for a couple days and then I disappear. It's not just simply because I'm spacing out videos. It's because I'm kind of have gaps between working on this particular house. So I've got this other project. The other thing is, and this isn't the biggest reason, but this is playing a role in it, everything costs so much right now. This other project doesn't barely cost me anything. It will have certain costs, and we can go into that, but it will be overall to be a very, very low cost materials project. It's just the tools are extremely expensive. So my sawmill, my tractor, those types of things. So that's where it would disturb people's thinking. I could call it the $0 house, but then you're like, but you're using hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tools and equipment, and that's just the way it is. But I have a sawmill, it doesn't mean that you have to have one to do a project like this, or to appreciate a project like this. There will be little elements within this whole project that could be applied to very normal stuff, whether it be a rental house or your personal home, or if you're somebody who wants to build like a tiny house or that type of thing. So I'm just thinking of it as a different project for different times. I won't mention the word, but the current situation is causing production issues in factories and all that stuff. And a roll of Romex wire, for example, the yellow wire that you see me using, it's normally about $70-some. It's $122 right now. OSB, normally between $7 and I'd say $9 a sheet, is $40 a sheet right now. So you can imagine when I re-roofed this house, I think I used, I can't remember, 20 sheets of OSB. It could have been more than that. So before it was, I think it was about $8 a sheet when I bought it. So $160, am I doing this right? $160 worth of OSB. And I remember when I bought it, I thought it was a lot, because the first time I ever was buying OSB, it was $5-something a sheet. And I bought tons of it, but when OSB gets up to $10, I'm like, oh man, this is getting expensive. Now it's 40, so I'm not even going to try to do the math. What is the math? Let's say it's 20 sheets times 40, $800 worth of OSB. So it's making things so much more expensive. And this house isn't done, but it's going to be wrapping up soon. And if I jump on my next project, I'm going to renovate a house, and it's going to cost me as much as it would if I just bought a nicer house. And so that doesn't really add up to me. So I may slow down my project, and I hope you all can be understanding about that. Not slow this one down, but maybe delay the next normal house. So I think stepping into this project would be fun for me, a nice sort of break. It's stuff that I really want to and sort of need to get done, I guess you could say. So I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. The other thing that is if I do indeed do this project, I need to come up with a name for it. And one of the biggest, I think, people enjoy my videos, but people can only enjoy videos after they've clicked on them. And the titles of my videos on this channel have, I think, been effective, starting out with $12,000 house and then doing this one $9,000 house. So people see that and they're like, what? And then once they start watching, I guess they enjoy them enough to keep watching more videos. But this particular house, I don't know if calling it a $0 house might make people too angry. And it's going to cost money. I mean, I've already bought stuff, there's nails and screws, and I'll be buying some roofing materials. I already have a lot of that type of stuff. But so I need to figure that out. Maybe I could estimate how much I'm going to spend and just call it that. But it's also not a house. So I don't know. Y'all can give me your thoughts on that if you would like. I think in general, that is it. Hope you enjoyed all the rambling and the considerations. And I know I do this often, and it might get kind of repetitive, but I want to encourage you all to not get bummed out by things. Don't get overwhelmed by things. Try to be realistic, but at the same time, understand that most big, good things that you can do in life are going to require a lot of work. So don't be intimidated for the right reason. You should be intimidated to not do certain things, in my opinion. I think a lot of times people will see other people do things, and those things are for long-term investment reasons, family reasons, and I'm not even doing this strictly for my own benefit. I'm not doing these projects to where I can have more money to buy more fun things that I like to play with. It is financial security. It's make hay while the sun is shining kind of thinking. I don't know if things will always work out as nicely. Real estate could become less affordable for me. I may have less time. I could get injured. I could die. I mean, there's all kinds of things. So while things are good, I'm trying to take advantage of them. And so it's long-term thinking for myself, my family, and then specifically children. Securing their future, kind of changing your own family line more so than just trying to take your family to Disney World and working a few extra hours to afford it. So what did that have to do with anything? Oh yeah. think long term a little bit. Consider what your short-term thinking is doing to your long-term. Look at your current situation, I think, and how you could make small changes that over a long period of time will make a difference, but won't make you squirm too much now. I think that's one of the biggest things when people sort of are going to step things up to the next level is they're uncomfortable with that little pinch they feel when they start doing things and make changes, but a lot of it is so it's just so small, it's just not worth the long-term sacrifice, certain things. And to be clear, I do so much stuff in a less than adequate way, but just in general, having that way of thinking to at least see it and acknowledge it and be in a place to make changes if they really do need to be made. Yeah, makes me think of to say a lot of other things, but I won't right now. We'll save some of that for later. So yeah, very, very glad y'all are always keep on watching. Very, very thankful for the support I'm getting from sponsors, in this case Simply Safe. Again, the custom link is simplysafe.com/homemade-home. Go to the website, check them out, give them a call if you need additional help. Please thank them in the comments below if you're still watching this, if anyone's still watching at this late time. I guess that is about it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.